Hello friends, welcome to Daring Marina YouTube channel. Today we will be discussing about some certain questions about for related to motor MEP and all. So let's discuss in detail. What is ovality of an auxiliary engine crankpin? If an surveyor asks what is the ovality of an auxiliary engine crankpin, we can say it is a combined effect of reduced effectiveness of lube oil and directional thrust on a cutting rod. Ovality means it is a combined effect of reduced effectiveness of lube oil and directional thrust on container rod. So this will be maximum at around 45 degrees Celsius at top dead center. Uneven loading of units and overloading, that means here maximum allowed is 1 by 4th of bearing clearance. Here means uneven loading of units and overloading will be maximum allowed for 1 by 4th of bearing clearance if removed by in situ grinding and polishing. So we have to remove by in situ grinding and polishing. Reference means fillet of crank web maximum allowed, it is the reference means fillet of crank web, and maximum allowed grinding will be 2 mm. Maximum allowed grinding will be 2 mm. We have to understand before grinding 2 mm or more surface hardness, we have to reduce it drastically. Due to this, maximum allowed grinding is 2 mm. Bottom bearing damage reason is the ovality and hearing and bearing clearance and condition of lube oil supply. Okay, here what is the ovality of engine crankpin means the combined effect of reduced effectiveness of lube oil and directional thrust of the container rod. It is known as the ovality. This is maximum at around 45 degrees Celsius at top dead center, and due to uneven loading of units and overloading, this is the main reason. And here the overloading maximum allowed is 1 by 4th of bearing clearance, and this can be removed by in situ grinding and polishing difference and fillet to the crank web. So maximum allowed grinding will be 2 mm. Because after grinding 2 mm or more surface hardness will reduce drastically. So due to this, maximum allowable grinding is 2 mm. Bottom bearing damage is the reason for this ovality, bearing clearance and condition of lube oil supply. Okay. So why are concentric springs fitted for auxiliary engine cylinder head valve? This is also a question. Why concentric springs fitted for auxiliary engine cylinder head valve? Okay, we can say if the frequency of natural vibration of air or exhaust valve springs is harmonic of the camshaft speed, then spring may vibrate axially and are said to surge. Okay, the surge can be avoided by modifying size of spring by arranging the springs in pairs and fitted one inside the other. Here means if frequency of natural vibration of the exhaust valve spring is in harmonic to the camshaft speed, due to resonance effect they will have a surge. Okay, so this surge can be avoided by modifying the size of spring by arranging spring in pairs, that is fitting one inside the other. You do understand? If due to frequency of natural vibration that we studied in small classes and all, in physics we know that due to frequency of natural vibration, when exhaust valve spring comes in harmonic motion to the camshaft speed, then the spring may vibrate drastically and surge. Here is what happened, resonance phenomena. So surge can avoided by modifying the size of spring by arranging springs in pairs and fitted one inside other. If one spring fails, the valve is held up and is not damaged by the striking pressure because there will be two springs. So the thickness of the individual spring can be reduced as against original thickness. Normally two springs of different vibration characters are chosen. Moreover, the stiffness requirements and space congestion at this place varies as concentric spring arrangement. So the net stiffness is equal to the sum of individual stiffness. Here means why are concentric spring fitted for auxiliary engine cylinder head valve means if frequency of natural vibration of air or exhaust valve spring is in harmonic to the camshaft speed, then spring may vibrate axially and are said to surge. Okay, like I said, resonance phenomena. So surge can be avoided by modifying the size of spring by arranging spring in pairs and fitting one inside another. If one spring fails, the valve is held up and is not damaged by striking the piston. The thickness of individual spring can be reduced as against original thickness. Normally two springs of different vibration characters are chosen. Moreover, stiffness requirement and the space congestion at this place warrants the concentric spring arrangement. The net stiffness will be equal to the sum of individual stiffness. Okay. So what is squat phenomenon? Squat phenomenon means it is a Venturi effect by vessel is moving in shallow water. So a vacuum is created due to which draught of vessel or draft of vessel is increased and thereby increasing the engine load. So here the steering ability of ship is reduced as a result. Squat phenomenon means it is a Venturi effect while vessel is moving in a shallow water. So the vacuum is created due to which the draft of vessel is increased, thereby increasing the engine load. Thus here what will happen is steering ability of ship is getting reduced. Okay, what is thermostatic expansion valve? Using refrigeration, this question is asked. We can say this is a regulator through which refrigerant is metered from high pressure side to low pressure side of system. So this is a throttling device. Here there is a regulator through which refrigerant is metered through high pressure side to a low pressure side of system. The pressure drop causes evaporating temperature, that means saturation temperature of refrigerant, to fall below that of evaporator. Due to this pressure drop, here evaporating temperature or saturation temperature of refrigerant to fall below evaporator. So what we need is avoid liquid refrigerant return to the compression section. Okay, then automatic expansion control and maintain 6 to 7 degree superheat. Okay, here what is thermostatic expansion valve is, this is a regulator through which refrigerant is metered from high pressure side to a low pressure side of system. The pressure drop causes evaporating temperature, that is saturation temperature of refrigerant, to fall below evaporator and avoids liquid refrigerant return to the compression section. Here the automatic expansion control and maintain 6 to 7 degree superheat. Okay, what is the function of low pressure control? So let's discuss about low pressure control. So this low pressure control, they will stop the compressor at low suction pressure caused by closure of all compartmental solenoids. When the pressure in the compressor suction rises due to solenoid opening, the low pressure controller restarts the compressor. So function of low pressure controller means the low pressure controller, they will stop the compressor at low suction pressure caused by the closure of all compartmental solenoids. When the pressure in the compression suction line rises due to solenoid opening, the low pressure controller, they will restart the compressor. Okay, then what we can say is, what is the function of low pressure control? Okay, this is used to protect the compressor against low suction pressure due to loss of refrigerant or blockage. This is used to protect compressor against low suction pressure due to loss of refrigerant or blockage. If if this air compressor suction pressure is allowed to fall below the atmospheric pressure, then there is exist a risk of moisture and air system. Okay, in the AC compressor, air conditioning compressor, suction pressure is allowed to fall. If it is fall below atmospheric pressure, then there exists risk of moisture and air ingestion system. Okay, why we function of low pressure cutout means, this is used to protect compressor mainly in the accommodation, that is air compressor, for the AC against the low suction pressure due to loss of refrigerant blockage. If the air conditioning compressor, their suction pressure is fall below atmospheric pressure, then there are risk of there having moisture and air ingress into the reefer compressor. And what is coil cell? It is a device consisting of material whose surface provides coil cells. The process of combining of larger droplets of liquid like oil into larger droplets is called coalescing. Coalescing means a device consisting of material whose surface provides coil cells. The process of combining of larger droplets of liquid like oil into larger droplets is called coalescing. Okay, why there is starting air overlap provided in diesel engine? Why there is starting air overlap provided in diesel engine? It is mainly provided to give positive starting in correct direction, starting ability from any position. If any one of the valve is malfunctioning, the engine can be still started. Okay, why we provide starting air overlap in diesel engine means to give positive starting in correct direction, starting ability from any position. If one of the valve is malfunctioning, engine can be still started. Okay, what is significance of firing order? This is also most surveyor will ask, what is firing order for your engine? 1, 3, 7, 6, 5, like that we say. What is significance means balancing of primary and secondary inertia forces, balancing of secondary and primary inertia forces to assist exhaust looping for distribution of stress over length of crankshaft and optimum bearing loading, for distribution of stress over length of crankshaft and optimum bearing loading, a firing interval for even turning moment, Okay, significance of firing order means balancing of primary and secondary inertia forces to assist exhaust looping for distribution of stress over length of crankshaft and optimum bearing loading, a firing interval for even turning moment. So then other last question here in this session is, what are the reasons for foaming in refrigeration compressor crankcase? Reason for foaming in a refrigeration compressor crankcase. So sometimes there will be in the refrigeration compressor crankcase there will be foaming effect will be there. This is due to rapid boiling out of refrigerant dissolved in oil when the pressure suddenly reduced. Okay, when the pressure suddenly reduced, there will be rapid boiling out of refrigerant that is dissolved in the oil. Okay, when the compressor starts operating, if a large quantity of refrigerant has been dissolved, then large quantity of refrigerant boils out and can be carried through refrigerant leads. Okay, here what it means, when the refrigerant starts operating, large quantity of refrigerant has been dissolved, okay, inside the oil. So this large quantity of refrigerant boils out and carries out through the refrigerant lane. So main reasons means, if there is a liquid in the suction lane, through thermal expansion valve is stuck open or incorrect superheating setting, sensing bulb, that is fuel bulb not closing, overcharge, etc. This may be reason for liquid in suction lane, or crankcase heater not working, compressor capacity too high at starting, expansion valve giving too small superheat, oil charge is less. So the reason for foaming in refrigerant compressor crankcase is due to rapid boiling out of refrigerant dissolved in oil when the compressor is suddenly reduced. When the compressor start operating, if large quantity of refrigerant has been dissolved, then larger quantity of refrigerant boils out and carried through the refrigerant lane. So this, due to this phenomena, the reason mainly because here what happening is this foaming in a refrigerant compressor means due to sudden pressure drop, there will be rapid boiling out of refrigerant dissolved in the oil. Okay, this is what happening. So when compressor start operating, large quantity of refrigerant been dissolved and large quantity of refrigerant boils out. So mainly in the refrigerant lane. Due to this reason means liquid in the suction lane. The liquid in the suction lane can be due to thermostatic expansion valve stuck open, incorrect superheating setting, sensing bulb not closing and overcharge, then crankcase heater not working, compressor capacity too high at starting, expansion valve giving too small superheat, oil charge is less. This may be the reason. So here we are stopping with the question set number 1. So we will be continue soon. Thank you.